I think there's a chance that it's completely impossible to give this movie a fair review. So that sounds like a challenge. I'm about to review the heck out of it. The second they announced this movie, I was like just watching it all. You know, the people who like Disney or were going to be mad because Warner Brothers was getting ready to make a thing, so they have to hate on it. And then the people who like, you know, Marvel, because that's a Disney property, are going to be mad because the Warner Brothers property is going to use the DC stuff. And then, you know, the LeBron people are going to have their say, and the Jordan people are going to have their say, and the people who are mad about them desexualizing Lola Bunny, which, the fact that as a culture, that's where we're at, where people are upset that they're making the bunny less sexy. Why was the bunny sexy to begin with? What just, whatever, move on. So from the second this movie was released, people have been lining up to dunk on it, pardon the expression. And that's so predictable and lazy. It's like, yeah, it's a movie made for small children, like straight up children under 12. So the fact I was even watching it, I'm kind of like, I have no complaints. It's like, the fact they put Don Cheadle here for me is like, okay, cool, I appreciate it. That's nice of you. By the way, as soon as I hear a reviewer mention that Don Cheadle's name was Algae Rhythm, and they're all like, see how stupid this is? It's like, yeah, you're familiar with Wile E. Coyote? This is how this works. Catch up. I mean, this isn't an award winner. And this isn't the worst thing ever. This is a thing that your child wants to see, so you take them, and then every now and then they throw in a reference for you. They didn't do it very good. I mean, not as good as Shrek or a lot of the Pixar films and stuff, but still, right? Space Jam Original isn't exactly some classic that can't be touched, but a lot of people feel like it is because they just haven't gone back and seen it, and they don't think about what exactly went on in it. But, you know, it's a movie about people defending the planet by playing basketball. Like, for example, here's what the original Space Jam looks like. It's a nice, fair, even, in the middle. Now, let's look at the new Space Jam the day before it was released. See, there's no fair, objective way to look at this movie, and that's what's wrong with our culture. People are mad about Space Jam. They feel the need to argue and back up their opinion on Space Jam. People want to make fun of a movie made for children under the age of 12, and they think they're intellectuals because of it. If you went into Space Jam thinking you were going to get some Joseph Campbell's hero's journey and there just isn't enough pathos in the new Space Jam film, you're an idiot, okay? This is a product made for children to get their parents to take them to the theater, and the parents are like, well, it's hot out, yeah, and we went to the pool yesterday, so I guess we'll go to the air-conditioned theater today. Let's go see LeBron. And that's how it works. This is made to sell dog toys and Happy Meals. Same thing. So for me to see all these grown adults be like, Space Jam is terrible. It's like, you're terrible. So to sit in judgment of something made for tiny children because you're a little too more intellectually. And the funny thing is, you're not too intellectual for it. The number one complaint I keep hearing is there's too much going on. It's sensory overload. It's too much video game. It's too much background characters at the game. It's just so much. And it's like, yeah, it's the difference between the old school Star Wars where you have a TIE fighter and an X-Wing fighting, and then the Lucas prequels and the new ones where there's 8,000 ships and 90 million explosions and this thing's crashing into that. That's how it is, all right? And instead of sounding like old people driving, where you're just like, there's too much going on, that light changed color. That's how you sound, all right? The children play video games on their phone, and their eyes are all great, and they're speaking a different language visually than you are. So to be offended that there's just too much, that show, not to okay boomer you, but okay boomer. And that goes to mostly people I see who are like 30, which is really sad. At least it wasn't shot with a camcorder. The audio, you can hear it. There isn't whistling wind in the background of every scene. It was color corrected and directed and produced by professionals who are very good at their job. So it's not going to be anything worse than at least a 3 or a 4, like somewhere in the D's. Now, after you start watching it, you're like, yeah, this is taking a while, and LeBron is... him and Jordan are about the same level of actor. The old one was like, together we can, bind up together and make it happen. And this one's more like, hey, everybody's got to go their own path. You got to choose your own way. You don't let anybody else tell you what to do. And that's a very now message. So of course older people are going to be offended by that. We're down to watching it and we're thinking, okay, this is clearly in the 4 to 6 range. You know, there's nothing remarkable here, but it's still a chance it could end up above average or slightly below average, right? And that's what it is. It's slightly below average. This is a D plus, maybe a C minus, D plus. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, it's better than most Pauly Shore movies. It's better than, you know, Leprechaun. Well, Leprechaun in the Hood's pretty awesome, but you get my point. There are a lot of worse movies than this. And the whole point is that it's like it's supposed to be made for children and then the adults can just, you know. But overall, it is a mess, and I am who I am, and it's impossible to be objective. So, D minus. So ultimately, is this movie good? No. Is it something I'd recommend? No. But saying it's the worst thing ever and acting all offended by this movie says more about you than it does about this film. Look, we've been through a lot over the last few years regarding the economy and the plague and all of it, so we'll get through Space Jam. Okay, guys? Let's all just bring it in, calm down.